this gentleman surprised all of us with the Triple Crown Main 1 win. Great ride. He stood on the box at the end of the night, and the Glendale curse is broken. Brought to you by the folks at Acherbys, at Acherbys USA. And please check out their website. Super cool. And, really, really good company there. And get some Acherbys stuff. It always fits. It always works perfectly. Let's welcome in Monster Energy star Yamaha rider, Fly Racing Zone, Cooper Webb. What's up? How are you, buddy?
What's up, Steve? All good, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, dude, Glendale curse. Like, we talked to you at the WPS thing, and we're like, why can't you do well there? And all the media's asking you at media day, and it's getting in your head. And then you jumped the triple across the Star Straight on the parade lap, bro.
Yeah, man. The crowd went crazy. It was awesome.
Big air Coop. I mean, we all know if anything's going to be jumped, it's Cooper Webb.
It's been a long time since the crowd went crazy over Coop. It comes from a sight lap.
No joke.
But yeah, it was impressive, man. And we talked about it a little bit in a review show. You qualified well, and a good day in Glendale.
Yeah, it was, man. It really was. It was, like you said, it was good to just prove to myself and everyone else that it's just a venue, right? And that statistics are statistics, but that's why we race, right? Anything can happen. So, yeah, overall it was great. Get a main event or whatever you want to call it. Not really a main event, but a modified heat race win and a second place. And my riding was good. I think that's what I keep alluding to. That was the best I've ridden so far this year, and I'll definitely take that as a positive. And as we know, it wasn't my normal conditions either, right? Like everyone says. So it was good to be able to adapt and make it happen. And, overall I was super happy with the night.
Phil said that one of the reasons you did well was because it traditionally, with the Glendale, it's really long rhythm lanes, and we didn't have really long rhythm lanes. Phil was saying on the review show that was one of the reasons. Maybe it was a slightly different Glendale layout than usual. Do you agree?
Was he at the same Glendale I was? Because
I don't think I have.
Yeah, you said
the other.
You
didn't
said the
that.
Glendale, like, it wasn't as long rhythms as, I don't know what you were saying. I was like confused a little bit, but you said one of the reasons. Coops.
Next, he's going to say it wasn't hard packed.
Coop said he's a point and shoot guy.
No, yeah. Coop is a point and shoot guy.
Yeah. So then you said the Glendale track doesn't necessarily always favor guys like that with the long rhythm lanes. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
It doesn't. Normally, Glendale is more open. You carry a lot more speed, where Coop does a lot better on the
So you said this track was a different Glendale.
Well, it seems somewhat different.
Okay. Well,
it wasn't as long as normal, but, I mean, they still were pretty long.
Okay, I'm just repeating what
it's not like it was Anaheim 2.
No, I agree. I didn't quite know what you were talking about.
I don't know what he thinks he's...
Okay.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about, Coop.
Okay, all right. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you guys seem like brothers right now.
I figured Coop felt somewhat decent because he was P3 in practice.
Yep.
In the second one. So, like, that just shows, like, okay, there was something there.
So, Coop, when
we got potential. We got
potential, yes.
When you saw the 3 and you hadn't done it yet, Kenny was doing it a little bit in his time. You guys obviously dart fished it and it was like, hey, it's faster, let's do it. I mean, I always think about myself as working as a mechanic for riders. Like, I don't remember really anybody ever doing anything on a parade lap first time. JT said he did do that in his day a little bit, but I don't remember riders really doing that, Coop. But good luck. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. Yeah, we see video, and then I wanted to do it when we did our hero lap or whatever they call it, when the top guys go out there. But we had people in front of me, and then it was just one of those things, right? That it was kind of like, okay, I need to probably do this jump. I just saw a 250 rider do it, so I'm plenty capable. Here we go. I'd rather do it now than in the race. But that one wasn't as bad. The quad on the far end was, for me, a lot scarier than that one. But it was an untraditional jump. Like, we haven't really seen at least in any of my years, where we go like over a start straight type thing or a long spaced out straight. So it was something I've never jumped before. So it was good to, like I said, just kind of do it right away, kind of get that monkey off your back, and then you get to line up and at least know you've done it.
I went to a bunch of races after the night, and Coop, like, there was a lot of bike issues from the landings and the hard packed soil, and then a lot of guys are like
the walls,
the walls,
stupid walls.
Yeah. The guys are like, look, and also like the guys are like, look, these are too big of jumps for Triple Crowns, and you got to do it 3 times, and It did seem, Coop, from a lot of guys I talked to, other than Chase, they thought the track was a little too burly for a Triple Crown. And then I would also look at these bike issues. Kenny went through 3 races and Dylan's axle and all this stuff, and I would go, wait, there was an issue. So although you did really well, Coop, did you have issues with the build of the track and what was going on out there?
When I did track walk, I was a little surprised. You know, like they definitely set us up to do some big jumps. For me, the biggest thing, and I don't know where guys are breaking stuff, but those wall jumps were just dumb. You know, like they're going to make a wall, make them big enough that they're a proper wall where we have to roll them, or roll them where we have a landing, do something. You know, that one before the finish was just painful every lap, and you lost time if you tried to roll it. And same with the other wall. You know, after the mechanics, if you didn't jump that, then you lose time. So those were the 2 that I wasn't a fan of. And then the quad after into the sand was, I would have liked to see maybe the landing rolled a little bit, for sure, you know, because there was a lot of, like, risk versus reward, I understand, but we were barely making it, and it was wide open on a 450, which has been a while since I've hit a jump, you know, wide open on a 450. Even the one in San Diego, you had a little bit more grace, and same thing, they kind of rolled the landing after press. But yeah, I mean, just in general, even the one rhythm that was pretty basic, it was really big. Like, they used a lot of dirt. You know, the triples were really big with a lot of dirt, so it was unique. I feel like they had a lot of dirt, and then the one end of the stadium where the sand was, it was like they didn't use any dirt. So it was unique. Typically, I'm not a big quad guy, you know, like in general, like I'll jump them, but they're not like a preference of mine. So yeah, I'm 50-50. I do think there was the racing seemed to be a little bit better. Like, there wasn't really any passing points besides if guys didn't do the rhythms. So I didn't mind that aspect. But definitely, the wall thing was absolutely mental, in my opinion.
And then they took the double out, the little hump before the finish. They took it. There was a double there, little hump, Phil. The guys were landing on that. Kenny was the first one, and they took it out. And I'm like, why'd that go? And they were like, the AMA doesn't want people to jump that, to double it.
Yeah.
So they just took it out, and then you guys just went to flat. So yeah. Anyways, that's
and that's what I'm saying. It's like it was, you know, I don't know the measurements or whatever, but a normal wall jump is 8 feet. It feels like, right? The thing's inverted, and it was like a 3-foot inverted jump. I felt like I was like on a Excite bike or something, and you know, in practice at least, I swear, I think that the way the timeline was, you could literally jump to the line. Was my thinking. And then, you know, with Dartfish, you could see, like, if you rolled it, you would get 3 bike links dropped on you. So I wasn't a big fan of it at all, obviously, and just thought it was unnecessary. Like, it hurt every time you land. It just freaking hurt, and that's where I feel like that. I know the big jumps were hard on the bikes, but that one really had to have been what was breaking stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, what people don't realize, like, you know, I got a bad wrist. Coop has a thumb injury. Jett had a thumb injury. All these guys, and it's just like, you got to land off something like that. That's a flat. Like, yeah, you're healed, but you still feel it regardless.
Oh, every lap,
every fucking lap. It's just like, God dang it, dude. You know. So yeah, it's just kind of a bummer. But
you gonna ask him about his setup?
I was just about to, only because you brought it up.
Yeah.
You talked to him about it. And
I didn't talk to Coop. I talked to people.
Oh.
So ask him.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, Coop.
What? What do you mean sorry?
Oh, well, no, I don't know. Well, Tuesday he was testing. Tuesday, Wednesday looked phenomenal.
He told us on Wednesday he had a Glendale setup.
Yeah. I told you. I mean, Coop looked awesome at the Yamaha test track. And the Yamaha test track is, FYI, it's pretty beefy. And Coop was doing some fucking rhythms there. You know, that 4-footers, 5-footers.
Wow, Phil's giving me a compliment. This is nice.
Oh, you look on rails, you know. But you went back to base.
Don't get off him, dude.
But you went back to your original base on Friday after press day?
Yeah.
Really? Poor Gilly, all that fucking work.
Yeah, these riders.
And then you're like, fuck it, we're going back. You know?
These riders, I tell
you. And we did find some mapping stuff. That was something we took into the weekend. And then even though I did go to base, it was a learning experience. We made some quicker adjustments that then I think helped my base settings, based off of the shock, that Gilead had kind of set up for me. So yeah, I mean, it was one of those things that I felt like, the team was kind of like, hey, we have some new stuff, we want to try it, we think we can get a good direction. And like you said, it was awesome at the test track, and it had great positives. It did do certain things better, but it just, when we got to the race and after press day, it just felt a little bit off to me, and I kind of just made a game time decision of, hey, let's just go to what I know. And the other setting might have been better, but I feel like we might have been clicking around for a majority of the day, and we did find something else that, like I said, from that setting with a subframe that was a positive, and we ended up racing that. So there was things coming out of the test that really were helpful, even though I didn't choose Gilly's new setting. So, and now we know, right? We kind of know even now, right, that there's a direction out there. It's just, it's risky, right? Like I felt really great all night. I have had this base set up for, over a year now, and I don't like to change, so it is tough.
Yeah, and it again, it's hard. You're going to Glendale where the rhythms are so much bigger, and you have a different package than what you're used to, and your butthole's already puckered, and you're trying to figure out what the new setting is like versus Old Faithful that you have. You know what I mean? You kind of know how it kicks and how it bucks, and you got this new thing that you're trying to figure out how to kick and buck on 85-foot triples that you're seeing God on.
And I'm it was a like you said, Yamaha test track. Like we all say, like the test tracks are great and you can get information, but I think you would agree, like they're pretty tight. Like you have some beefy rhythms, but they were a lot tighter than Glendale, right? So like, you think you're looking, like our goal was traction, and we did that, like I said, with some mapping stuff, with other little things here and there with the shock, but overall it's, like I said, it's part of racing. You got to make those game times decision, and luckily, like I tell Gilly, like his settings are awesome either way, so we made it work.
Yeah, absolutely. Cherubies USA bringing you Cooper Webb here on the show.
No, I was just gonna, I guess a comment on that is, like, in most cases, I guess when you get to a racetrack like that, right, and they're trying to find traction and things like that he's talking about, typically you're going to soften the motorcycle a little bit, but then you have jumps that are that size, so it's like fine line the whole night. But now, one of the comments I was going to make on Coop was, when I think about even the test track, even throughout the day, you get the main line, and then there's a line below that and a line below that, and all of a sudden the turn starts getting sharper, and he's one of the best that we've seen do that, right? Like getting into the lower part of the turn and getting out of it. So just as a fan, just observing, like, that track seemed like it was quite a bit more open, a lot more roll speed through the turns, not in and out of the turn, stuff like that. So to see him, see you comphable like that, and it was fun to watch. So
is it?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Is this might be a dumb question. If Phil, this is a dumb question, let me know. But do you think you came from 6th to 3rd in the third one? Did you almost ride better in that than the one you won?
Yeah,
okay.
For sure. I was stoked.
I mean, third one
I rode good.
It was good.
One.
Yeah,
the first one was really good, right? Like, just executed a good race. The first one, obviously when Jett got there, I was able to kind of pick it up and keep him at bay, so that was nice. But the last one, I actually felt like I rode my best, and there at the beginning, I felt like I was, kind of getting some ground back on Chase and Eli, and then it kind of evened out, and we, at least on my board, I don't know what the official times were, it was just like tenths, at that point. So it was hard to, unless someone made a mistake, I feel like we were all three going at a really good speed to where we needed a mistake from someone. So I was trying. I mean, like you said, I think it was just overall good riding all night. I mean, even my second one, I was buried off the start, and I made some mistakes early, lost track position, but I made a lot of passes. And so did Eli, that same main event. Like, he was able to get by me and get going further up the board, but I really haven't made many passes this year. Like I've A1 I did, but San Diego, I had a good start, and then A2, I obviously didn't really make much headway. So it was just good to, mentally get a bad start and almost pick my way through the pack and get dicey and do those things again and go, okay,
right.
I can get to the front when need be. And same in the last one. I had a lot of urgency to get to the front, and I passed some good dudes really quick, and I was, pretty proud of that for sure.
Phil, is this where you want to tell Coop how he looks good in the fly stuff? He looks.
No, Coop, how often do I say you look good in the fly stuff?
Yeah, I told you so.
Unbelievable.
I showed you the screenshots.
Yeah. I tell him. I'm like, fuck. I said, God, he looks good.
All right. You said that, but I didn't know.
I was a huge fan this weekend. I got mixed reviews, but I thought this weekend was a sick look.
Yeah,
I really did.
I thought he looked good. Yeah. I mean, our buddy Oz said he looked like a blueberry, but I thought he looked okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But enough with the gear.
Okay. FlyRacing.com.
Yeah, sensitive subject.
Yeah, sensitive.
It is. Yeah.
Phil, if you can join us,
Yeah,
we get it.
Yeah, we get it, Phil. No problem.
Coop, the start factor. How do you go from pulling a whole shot in one to 15th in the other? Why is the window so big? Because your gate picks, you're 1 through 5 on the gate picks, but how are you ripping a whole shot and then 15th going into the first corner?
That's the $1 million question. No, it's. It was a mistake. I just wheelied off the grade a little bit, and as you know, you lose that half a wheel or whatever, and it's over. I think for me, it's all about confidence and control, and just. I feel like when you're starting really well, it's almost robotic.
Yeah.
And I feel like I got a little bit maybe too confident. I pulled the whole shot first one.
Mm-hmm.
I just in my head I went to the same gate and I'm like, I'm going to whole shot, and you don't really maybe focus as much as you should or go be as robotic like I just said as you should, and you miss one little thing, whether it's throttle or head or feet or whatever it is, and boom, it's done. We're all such amazing starters, and the great start is obviously, I think made everybody a lot more level. So, it's I think that's kind of similar. Besides maybe the Hondas, right? They got a, and this year we've seen they've been hit or miss too, and that's what's tough. Like no one's really consistently just nailing start after start, and I think we're all such great starters. It's you make a half of a mistake, you're cooked.
Yes, half a second, not even less than half a second. You're done. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, but
not all of us can just be Phil Micheletti and whole shot every race.
No,
I don't whole shot every race, but coming around 15th versus 8th for these guys is a huge advantage. I just wonder why because Eli seems to be the same way.
I didn't have the gun to my head like you're saying, honestly. The first one, I had a gun to my head saying, okay, get this start.
Yeah.
Second one, the gun wasn't loaded.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. We got a phone call for you, Coop, on 3. It is Tyler. Tyler, go ahead. What's your question for Cooper Webb?
First thing, I was wondering if Cooper ever or remembers Unadilla before he turned professional. I think couldn't get something off the front brake. My dad ended up having to take the bolt out of a front brake that you guys stripped or something. I'm not 100% sure what it was. Do you remember that at all?
I don't remember that instance, but I do remember racing. What's the amateur track called? The
U2 track.
I don't know, they call it.
Yeah,
U2. Yeah, we went out there, and it was my first ever amateur pro race. I went straight from Loretta's there, and I remember it was my first time getting money, and I was stoked.
First time getting money.
You smoked everybody. I watched that the amateur part of that, the pro open,
or
whatever it was.
It's funny to go back to it. Bobby Reagan wanted us to do all the amateur days and get as much track time as we can, and I show up to that one, and they're like, "Yeah, you don't actually ride the
track,
the national track." I'm like, "Damn it, Bobby."
So my question was though. I don't know if I was seeing things, but at the start of the third 250 main, it looked like all the leader lights were going off, like they were doing a sequential order up and down the line before the gate drop.
Yeah, they were.
Right. Okay, is that annoying? I feel like that would throw me off.
This weekend was the first time I've noticed it. I think it was new this weekend, and yeah, like you said, it reminded me of like a light show they were trying to do. You can't really
like, I
see
feel
him
like
on
that
your
would
bike.
be like, oh, something moved, because that's what you're looking for. You're looking at the pin of the gate to move, and you just something flashes out of the side of your eye when you see your light go off on your triple clamp.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, time to go.
Yeah.
that is true.
I don't know. I just wanted to see if that was any
Laser gate.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, thanks for the call.
Yep,
Appreciate
have a good
it.
night.
Thank you. Cooper Webb here on the show. Coop, a little bit of changes for you. Rich Simmons moving from crew chief to manager, and then Jordan Troxel coming in, Jordy coming in as crew chief. What's that been like? Coker left, obviously, and you had a great relationship with him and knew him well.
Yeah.
So what's it been like with the new guys?
It's been good. I mean, it was tough when Coker left. We were super close, and but yeah, it's been good. I've been really good with Rich. He's been my go-to guy for since I've been here. So it was for me not much difference with him getting the management role. And Jordy I've known forever, and we've always even though me and him had battles with me and Kenny those few years and all that, we always got along, and we're East Coast boys, and always kind of chatted and this and that. So it's been good, man. It really has, and
good.
Kind of different. I think Star has their ducks in a row. We have Brad, we have Gilly, we have Rich, so everyone kind of knew their place. So I think it's been a little bit of like a learning for everyone, but it's been good in the sense of taking him from Honda, I think, was obviously a good thing for us, and then even just some ideas, like he as as a mechanic, if you're on a team or whatever for X amount of years, you're just kind of used to a certain way, and not saying it was right or wrong, but it's been nice to maybe just have a few new ideas here and there, and it'll be good the more time we get to spend together, because it was so last minute, right? It was basically January when they made that hire, so we hadn't spent a lot of time together. I know he's moving east, and he's all in and fully committed, so it'll be good, man. I think like I told those guys Saturday night, like, I thank you so much, and like it really is a good group, and I can be myself, and I can tell these guys personal stuff or truly how I'm feeling, and they can take that information and do their thing, and we're all friends, and that's hard to do. It's hard to work with people, but then also be friends and care for one another off the track, and that's kind of how it is, at least for me. So it's still the same with Jordy. Like we're starting to kind of get that connection going. So it's been awesome.
Phil, 10 points out for Coop going east. It's a good spot. He's in a good spot.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, obviously, yeah. We look at stats, and Glendale was always the worst one. And after this weekend, it's just like, okay, And obviously, Coop, the number one is now down and out, changes the variable. It sucks. I mean, you like Jett. I mean, everyone gets along, and, as a competitor, no one likes to see that shit. But mentality-wise, I mean, we've talked. We know Jett's a phenom, and he's got ungodly speed out of fucking nowhere, and now he's gone, and it seems like the playing field for all you guys is pretty equal now at the moment. Yeah, no,
I mean, like you said, it's a bummer. You don't ever want to see a competitor get hurt. And like you said, I'm friends with Jett, so with that side of things, it's a bummer. But I mean, at the other side of that, like you just said, I think it gives us all a little bit of like a new energy, if I'm being completely honest.
Sure,
because it's now up for the taking. Not that it wasn't before, but now it just gives you a little bit more life, if that makes sense. So, for me, I'm going to take the same mentality. I mean, I know we all say that we're boring and whatever, but I truly am. I felt like last weekend I finally kind of stopped stressing and just like settled in, and just kind of had a effort attitude, if I can say that, and just like take it for what it is. Go out there and just ride your dirt bike. Stop thinking, stop worrying, stop trying to be the man right now, because you're not quite ready to be, and just take it for what it is. And that's exactly what happened. And I feel like just something shifted this weekend where mentally I felt good again. You know, like it was, my riding was good, my starts were good, my fitness felt really good. Just a good click. So like I said, I think it's perfect timing. Motivation is at a good spot, always is. But like you said, with this happening, it's really all for the taking, and it's going to be sick because, you know, two of us, me and Eli, are teammates. We're two-time champs, and we're going to be battling. You know, Chase is a champ. Kenny's in it, like, and there's still 8 other guys, you know, down that order that can get in there and mix it up. So it's going to be fun. It really is, and I'm excited.
Phil's bored, and I was going to ask you about bringing – you just talked about your great attitude and your changed attitude, so this is probably not an applicable question, but did you think about hiring Phil as a mental coach and bringing him to the races?
Come on.
I know. Not with your attitude that's so good right now. Yeah, he's just going to bring that down. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he will. Yeah.
I don't know about mental because he's mental, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That is very true.
Yeah.
You know,
I just see Phil more races.
I will say, though, no coincidence that I saw Phil at the Yamaha test track and had a good result.
Yep. Yeah, exactly right.
I said he looked good on Tuesday and Wednesday.
You did.
You know, I did. You know, I give Coop props, even Saturday. Like, because when I look at Coop, I don't look at him as an athlete or whatever. I still get mind blown every single time. Like, when I look at Coop, like, how the fuck do you ride a dirt bike so good? You know, like, it impresses me every single weekend. So, you know. Aside from everything else.
Everything else, right? Well, okay. Well,
it's good to have Phil back in the mix. You know, it's been fun.
I want Phil at the races. It's more fun with Phil in the press box, Phil hanging out. You know.
Well, after those rhythms, Coop, I'm glad I wasn't at Glendale this year, dude. I can tell you that right now.
The jump, dude. Yeah. Well, it is funny because you hear at A1, Phil, you know, he's on, or was it A2?
A2.
Yeah, he's on track walk, and he's all, I miss it, and this and that, and then I'm thinking like, this weekend, San Diego had that big quad.
Yeah.
Do you really, bro?
Yeah.
Do you really?
I'm out.
I'm out.
Yeah. I would just do the easy lines, dude. The easy lines.
Yeah. I mean, you made it, like you said, you made a career out of it.
The easy lines.
Fuck, dude.
Coop, going back to that, jumping that triple on the parade lap, do you think that changes the mentality a little bit for yourself just in that first moto? Like, I can picture back to like not doing specific rhythms or things like that, and I was never at your level, obviously, but you know, the gate drops in a heat race and you get a decent start, and all of a sudden now you need to do the rhythm, and I can remember how that would kind of change the whole track for me, right? Like, it's like weight off your shoulders. So do you think doing it in the parade lap almost puts you in a better space mentally, not having to think about, I need to do it on the first lap if I'm in position to do it? Right now it was done, and you could focus on the start and knew you could do it every lap, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, ideally you do it in practice, right?
Right, of course, of course.
Out there, but I think that's where what I said earlier about the team, you know, they can be honest with me, and it's been a conversation like, you know, Rich was pretty much like, hey, if you want to win tonight or be in the top 3, you have to jump the quad every lap, and you have to jump that jump every lap.
Yeah.
If you're not comfortable and if you don't, you know, if it's sketchy or you don't feel safe doing it, we're not telling you got to do it, but just know, you know, the top 3 will be doing it.
Yeah.
So
it's so gnarly.
It's like we're not mad, we're disappointed.
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly it.
But it's true, you know. So I think for me it was like, hey, if you want to do something tonight, these are the jumps you got to do. And like I said, main event 1, I did it, and I think it truly won me the race, you know.
Well, I don't understand because at SMX, I texted Phil and said, hey, Deeks is doing that 3 in. If you want to, you know, do it. And then Phil wrote back, good for fucking Deeks. So, like, it didn't seem to work that point where I was just trying to tell Phil, give him some advice. So, you know.
Yeah, it's hard, man. And trust me, there's been some jumps, and I mean, honestly, the one, I don't know why looking back, because the one this weekend was probably the gnarliest one I've done, but like San Diego one was in my head all day. And so I know what his pain is. It's like, yeah, I'm out on it. But like you said, at this level, that's like, in the 450 to win or be on the box or even top 5, like, you don't have a choice. Like,
yeah, I'm out. Listen, I mean, if Rich told me, hey, man, you want to be podium guy tonight, if you have to jump those, I'm telling Rich to get fucked. I told Brandon to get fucked many times the past 3 years. Like, dude, I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hire somebody else to go jump that for you.
You think Coop's going to say hire someone else?
Yeah, I mean.
Coop's not going to say that.
No. Well, I did. Fuck, I'm out, you know.
But that's where, once again, you know, he's telling, you know, it's a good reminder of, I'm not the first guy to jump jumps, but he's like, dude, you're Cooper freaking Webb. Like, you're a badass. Like, you're fine, you know. And when you put it into that perspective, it's like, he's right. Like, what? There's people doing it. There's no reason I can't be.
Yeah, you ain't jumping it first, but like that guy's jumping it, I can jump this thing, right? Yeah. Awesome, Coop. Well, hey, congrats on the Glendale. That's awesome. Going to Tampa this week, you got to be stoked. No travel real. So, thank you for the time tonight. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Yeah, Phil, good talking to you, mate.
Yeah, maybe pick up your
Steve.
phone sometime.
Yep.
Call me.
Oh wow,
you know.
here we go.
It's cool.
Blue Crew Fly family.
Yep, me and Coop, Fly, Blue Crew. Love it. Love to see it. Thanks, man.
See you, Paul.
Yeah, y'all have a good night.
Later.